Good morning, y'all. Right now, I think it's around 10:30, 10:45, 10:36. Um, what's today? Today is the 28th, Thursday, January 2021. Um, I know it's been a while since I recorded. I actually recorded something on my birthday, last month, and I forgot to record the rest because I think we were hurrying out, and then, yeah. Yeah, and then afterwards, I had to hurry out because, farmers market, Irvine, whatnot. It rained, for a while now. I have to clear out this soil because I know a lot of it just has algae in it. Because, I don't have any holes in the bottom of these. I never figured out a way to put holes in them without actually breaking the material. But yeah, so that's the reason why. It's gonna rain, I think, later on today and tomorrow, so I'm not gonna water. But yeah, so I had some, these are sweet peas, sapping peas. Some of them, I don't know, they're not necessarily sprouting yet, but I have seen some of them germinated. They're either taking a little longer than usual, or did you see this one right here? See the green stuff? So which means that, it germinated. And then here is the kale. Kale grows, it's not these aren't that big, which is expected considering that it's in a small container like this with close distance. I am not complaining because it's still growing and still producing. Sorry, they're doing construction over there. Okay, so within the past, I think I planted these about 2 months ago. I don't remember the date, but I planted a variety of stuff. So here are the beets. There's different type of beets, and from what I heard, these are ready to be taken care of within 4 months, 3-4 months or something like that. So I'm gonna have to wait until March and able to harvest these. But I think I'm gonna harvest these today and then plant some more. Yeah. So I know, some of them were planted really close to each other, but the issue is that some of the seeds kind of separated and got spread out on their own. I planted these and those earlier on in the year. And so last year, like mid last year or something, around April. So these were, smaller, but now that they're in a um, big place like this, they're able to have more room to grow. Yeah. So the beets, and then here's the lettuce. I'm gonna harvest these just about now after. But let's continue on to the tour. Here are the onions. Yeah, I haven't harvested these obviously. And I think the reason why mainly was because there was a lot of plants on these. Yeah, not plants, but bugs, and it was just not necessarily the most sanitary. This right here, yeah, I haven't got any fruit from these, to be honest. And I was gonna take those out, but there's ants, in those. So it's kind of gross. And then here I have the peppers. I think there was a cat who rummaged through this and ended up causing that to happen. Yeah, excuse the mess. I haven't been out here in a while. I haven't cleaned up here in a while, but I still water these plants. Um, yeah, so here's the kale, which I'm pretty sure the cats got to. They love the kale and end up causing all that to happen. What else is here? So I think some tomato seeds ended up spilling because look at all these sprouts over here. And then some even got over here. Right here. That's a tomato plant that grew. And despite it being winter time, I think this is also, for some reason, maybe, because a lot of the strawberries and stuff, or the produce is grown elsewhere where the climate is colder. So maybe that's why not as much strawberries are in season as of now. Some of them are generic brand, to be honest. But here, I still have tomatoes growing in the winter time. See, I have one that's a couple of them, that are gonna be ready to harvest soon. I have, a good amount of them still growing. And here there are carnations. These are like the small ones, dwarf carnations, so that's why they're not so big. Okay. I have to water these actually. I planted the California poppy seeds, so they'll be ready when it's basically in season, which is like early to mid to late spring here in the northern hemisphere. Okay. I haven't been in here in a while. It's like my tiny little clubhouse, except the lice, no, not lice, but what do you call those things? I forget what you call them. The fleas. Fleas? I think it's fleas. Yeah, I think it's fleas. I hate fleas. Whatever's the one that live inside dogs. Because when that dog left, they came after me. Look how massive this thing grew. I think I got it when I was up to this point. And I was, it's getting too tall for the tent or greenhouse. I think what I'm gonna end up doing though, since I don't use this as much, is I can always put the plants over on the chair and then probably clear some of that off and actually use it as a greenhouse. But this is still cool to have because it's not very well insulated. It's not meant to be extremely insulated, but it still does its job. It was I think around $70 or less, which is pretty good because it's taller than me. I can stand up in it. It's about 6 feet. And then here's the eggplant. Eggplant I haven't harvested because it just kind of grows weirdly. And then this one is Japanese eggplant, which I'm trying to take out, but the roots are really, really strong. Yeah. So, in other words, I still, my plants are still alive. I still come out here and water them. But the only thing is, I just don't harvest them enough. The lavender is still alive. This is how it looks when some of it just dies off. So sometimes a lot of people tend to prune and tame their plants to make it look nice. But yeah. Or they harvest it. Simply put. Pesto, basil. See, I think, since especially it's the winter time, the stems and roots have gotten a little bit woodier than usual. In general, I think after a while, if you let basil just kind of stay like this, it starts to feel like almost like a tree-like substance. It still grows, but it kind of looks like a tree on the bottom, kind of brownish, grayish. Okay, and actually, yeah. So this the other lavender plant, but there's a butterfly weed growing right here. Because what they have on top, you see it right here, is that this was the flower. Like, it's kind of like the dandelions. After they flower, they seed and spread those things around, their seeds around. And so that's what happened with this one. So the seed must have reached somewhere in the soil and started to grow. The one thing though is that I forget what they call them. I searched it up, and yeah, this they had like yellow bugs on it, and it was really, really gross. Well, yeah. So that's the thingamajig. I don't want to show all the mess. It's really messy here. But here's the bamboo. I think I got it when it was about this height, maybe. Yeah, about this height. Now it's like this tall. And there's this one. This one is about, approaching 12 inches. So you can tell that it has grown a lot in a year. This one also sprouted. So this one probably grew about, let's say, it looks like 2 feet. Maybe a little under 2 feet or about 2 feet. But it grew tall. That's for sure. Yeah, okay. I don't want to talk about the compost because that did not work out. But here's the lime tree. And yeah, I got some flowers and it's flowering, which means it's gonna start to fruit, which it has. This was the fruit. You see how tiny it is? I don't know if it's because it's just too small of fruit or something, but yep, this is the fruit. That's a lime. Okay. I don't know how well this thing is doing, but I think the main issue is that I needed to add more nutrients to it, so hopefully it will revive. I don't know if this, the papaya the leaves start to drop if it's a colder climate, but I know it starts to drop if it doesn't receive enough nutrients. So I added nutrients a little earlier, like probably last week or something. Yeah. There is stuff that I am still learning. I'm not a master gardener yet. Well, at this moment, I'm definitely not. I think one thing for sure, though, is that if there's one thing that I learned, definitely make sure and get a pot with holes on the bottom. Or if it doesn't have holes, just make sure and put some holes in it. Because here is what I'm talking about. Here's the hibiscus, and I'm sure a lot of it, even though some of the leaves are still alive, a lot of it kind of suffered through, I don't know, if it probably has to do with root rot. And the same thing over here too, because those are perennials, and you saw that they died off, so yeah. I think what I'm gonna end up doing though, is if and when I plant it, we'll take some of these plants. I'm gonna donate these or just give them to someone else. Or because definitely get something that has some sort of hole on the bottom where it doesn't have to go through that. I think so. That's about it. I'm gonna start watering and then harvesting some of the plants. Alright, so time to start harvesting. I just watered some of them. Look at that. How beautiful that is. Oops. Of course I still have to rinse these, but look at that. It's been going for about 2 months now. Oops. I think I'll give some to my landlord. Yeah, the spinach kind of grew weird. Like, I think it started to grow other places besides, well, right over the lettuce. Oops. They say, give it about 6 to 8 weeks. It's been about 2 months now. A little over 8 weeks. But yeah, I think a lot of these are ready. I think this one has gotta go, man. It's just taking up too much room. This is the spinach. A lot of the seeds did not grow as well as I expected. Well, I mean, they didn't germinate. Let's see. A lot of them grew pretty close together. Next time I just want to make sure I can level these out more. So yeah, everything else that didn't grow so well or just grew smaller. Yeah, they were fighting for nutrients, that's why. They were placed a little bit too close together. Look at this cute spinach. I'll leave that for a little longer. Let's see, I'll take these 3. Let's do right here. That's one. That's another. Yep, I'm not really supposed to be doing that because soil kind of gets in the middle of it. Yep, but for sure though, this is definitely the season to grow it. Because, these grew pretty well. Which reminds me, I'm gonna just take this one out. And then probably use this half to grow other stuff. Yeah, but I have stuff in the front. I'll try and record it right now. But here's the harvest. Good harvest from this. Alright, so it's a little louder out here, so I have to speak louder. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff I have here on the front porch that I need to plant. Either up here in the front or in the back. But let's see, what I got so far. So I bought tulips about, a few weeks back at Sprouts. They were $2 each, so I said, well, why not, buy them? But the reason why they were selling them so cheap was because they already sprouted, and usually these are most desired during the spring. So the fact that these, these are here and it's winter time and people are still, decorating for the Valentine's Day. It can still be used for that, but it's mostly used during the spring. Yeah, so these were drooping yesterday or the day before yesterday, but when I watered them, look, they revived. I need to water them again because, it's a little light. But here are the tomatoes, sun gold, and the other one, I forget the name of it. Of course, I need to plant these in a larger pot so, they don't the roots don't kind of stress out. A lot of these I actually bought a while back. I bought this one. I bought all of these about 3.5 weeks ago. About maybe a month ago, but a while back. So I definitely need to take the time and plant these ASAP. I bought them from Hollywood, actually, a Hollywood farmers market. Every week I try to support local farmers and businesses at these farmers markets. I don't know if the cats got to these or if it's the bugs, but I don't think the kale did so well. I actually had this in a pot for a while because I just didn't know what to do with it. But finally I figured out that, just plant it here because I had to take it out. Sorry, I live in the city. It's loud like this, but there's also other stuff I didn't really get to harvest that much. But this one is doing really well. This is the African plant, the African basil. What else? We have some mint that recovered, spearmint. I think this is maybe chocolate mint. Oh no, this is I think lemon bee balm, I believe. And then here's the chocolate sweet mint. Sorry, I bought chocolate mint over there from that other business owner. Alright, that tree, yeah, I think I had it inside. I mean, I gave it some water, but I think it was because I had it inside. Not, with good sunlight, why it ended up like that. And I bought another one, but I think somebody took it because I can't, it was towered right here. Now, it was going the next time I saw it. Alright. So, here's onion. Look at it. There's a lot of bugs in here. But I just put an onion in there. And it started to sprout. If I wanted to use these as scallions, I could. Maybe. Yeah, that's the thing about onions. It's when you start to sprout after you leave it for a certain while. And that's what happened there. I was just gonna throw that out, which I'm still contemplating whether I should or not. This is doing well. I didn't even water it that much, but it just still started to sprout. Yeah, and a lot of this stuff over here though, and over here the tomatoes. I had a coupon for my birthday at Anawalt, and so I just got about $30, $40 worth of stuff, and it came down to like $27 or something, because $10 off for 30. So It's more like a win-win situation here. Yeah, and then the wood over there. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know this area is not clean. I guess my excuse is school, but I know when I have another day off, I need to take the time and tidy up the back and the front. I already started tidying up the space that I study and sleep in. Just finished that. Sorry, I just finished that on Tuesday. Just buying a whole bunch of stuff to organize and make it look less cluttered. Okay. So those are the ones that are needed. Maybe add like a little water in that little messy broken container. It's a tad bit in here. Yeah, it's gonna rain, I believe, later on today. Ooh, this is beautiful. Look at that. A little ray of sunshine. Yeah. Sorry for the mess. And then the palm tree. Yeah, this right here was a bouquet of what a lot of it consisted of locally grown flower stuff. But it wasn't really like, pretty flowers. I think I had some eucalyptus in it and a few other stuff. But yeah. So this was the tour of the back and the front of the stuff that the stuff that I'm growing. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to record something next week. I will be honest, I'm not sure if I am or not, but if I get back with the program and write it down, see how the weather's gonna be, then I'm gonna record next week. I'm so sorry for the delay. School happened and I took still taking a lot of units, but yeah, so that kind of slowed me down a little bit in my tracks, but I'm still doing all right. I'm alive, doing a-okay. And yeah, so this is the tour of the back and the front, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.